Tonight, we are going to set down tomorrow. Not to solve it, not to prepare for it, not to figure out how it will go, but simply to set it down, gently, and let it wait until morning, so that you can rest tonight in the only place that is actually here, which is now. For there is a particular kind of sleeplessness that comes not from the day behind us, but from the day ahead, the anxious rehearsing of a tomorrow that has not yet come, the mind running forward into a future it cannot see, trying to live it and solve it and survive it, all in advance, in the dark, when there is nothing to be done but rest. You know this worry. You lie down, tired, longing for sleep, and the mind leaps ahead to tomorrow. The thing you must do, the conversation you must have, the outcome you cannot control. And it begins to rehearse, to plan, to imagine every way it might go wrong, to brace and prepare and worry, as though by suffering tomorrow tonight you could somehow make it safe. And the more the mind runs ahead, the further sleep retreats, until you are lying in the dark, exhausted, living a day that has not arrived, in a future that does not yet exist. Tonight we gently call the mind home, not by forcing the worry away, and not by solving the future, which cannot be solved in advance, but through the quiet Zen teachings on impermanence and the present breath, which loosen the grip of tomorrow and return us, softly, to the safety of now. Before we begin, feel free to share what time it is and where you are listening from. You do not need to know anything about Buddhism to rest here, and you do not need to remember a single word in the morning. There is nothing to study and nothing to solve. So take a soft, deep breath. Let your shoulders come down from wherever they have crept. Let the bed hold your full weight, and let us begin together, gently. The first thing to see, and it is a great relief to see it, is that the tomorrow you are worrying about does not exist. Not yet. It is not a place you are in. It is not happening to you now. It is a thought, arising in the mind, here, tonight, in a bed, in the dark, where you are safe and warm and nothing is wrong. The future is not here. It has never been here. By the time tomorrow comes, it will not be tomorrow anymore. It will be now, this same now you are always in, met with the same breath you are always breathing. We never actually arrive in the future. We only ever live in a series of nows, and so the future you are suffering tonight is not real. It is a story the mind is telling, a rehearsal of something that has not happened and may never happen as you fear. The Buddha taught again and again that this present moment is the only place we ever truly live, and that so much of our suffering comes from abandoning it, running ahead into a future that is not here, or back into a past that is gone. Let us explore a story about this. There was a woman who had an important day coming, a day she had to stand before others and speak, a thing she feared greatly. And for many nights before that day she could not sleep. Each night she lay in the dark and rehearsed it. She imagined standing up to speak and her voice failing. She imagined forgetting her words. She imagined the faces looking back at her, unimpressed, or worse. She lived the whole feared day again and again in the dark, and each time she lived it, her heart pounded, her stomach knotted, her body flooded with the fear of a thing that was not happening, that was days away, that existed only in her imagining. She suffered that speech 100 times before she ever gave it, lying awake night after night, exhausted by a fear of something that had not come. And then the day came, and she gave the speech, and it was not as she had feared. Her voice held, her words came. The faces were kind, or at least not cruel. It was over in a few minutes, and it was, in the end, an ordinary thing, far smaller and far gentler than the monstrous version she had suffered 100 times in the dark. And walking home afterward, she realized something that stayed with her for the rest of her life. She had suffered that speech 100 times in her imagining, and only once in reality, and the 100 imagined sufferings had been far worse than the one real one, and had brought her nothing but 100 sleepless nights. The speech itself had asked one small courage of her on the day, but the worry had asked 100 in advance for nothing. And she thought, how many days of my life have I lived twice, once in dread and once in reality? And how much of that dread was suffered for disasters that never came, or came far gentler than I feared? Let us stay with her a moment, walking home, the feared day behind her, so much smaller than the dread had made it. For she had seen the great trick of anticipatory worry, that it makes us live the hard things twice, once in imagination and once in reality, and that the imagined version is almost always worse and costs us far more, and is suffered for a future that does not yet exist and often never comes as we fear. The speech, when it came, was met in a single now, with a single breath, with the strength she actually had on the day. But the worry had made her live it 100 times in advance, in a future that was not real, paying, night after night, for a thing that had not happened. And this is the nature of the worry that keeps us awake. It is the suffering of a future that is not here. It feels responsible, even necessary. It feels as though we must worry, must rehearse, must prepare for every possibility, or something terrible will catch us unready. But the worry does not prepare us. It only exhausts us, so that we meet the real day when it finally comes, worn thin from 100 imagined versions of it. The future is not here. The feared tomorrow does not exist tonight. It is a thought, a rehearsal, a story, and you are safe right now, in this bed, in this breath, in this quiet and ordinary now, where nothing is wrong. So let us begin to call the mind home tonight, gently. If the mind has run ahead into tomorrow, rehearsing some feared day, you might notice softly that the feared day is not here. It is not happening. You are in a bed, in the dark, safe and warm, and the only thing actually here is this breath, and this quiet, and this present moment, where all is well. You do not have to solve tomorrow tonight. You do not have to live it in advance. You may let it wait, unlived, in the future where it belongs, and return now to the one real place, which is here. Feel the breath moving slowly. Feel the weight of your body held by the bed. Feel the simple safety of this present moment, where nothing is wrong, where there is nothing to fear, where there is only rest. It is worth seeing what the worrying mind is really doing, for it believes it is being useful. When it runs ahead into tomorrow, rehearsing the feared day, it feels as though it is preparing, protecting, keeping us safe. It whispers that if we just think it through enough times, imagine every way it might go wrong, we will be ready, and nothing will catch us unprepared. And so the worry wears the mask of care, of responsibility, of love even, and we let it run, believing we must. But look closely at what it actually accomplishes. Has a single one of those rehearsed disasters ever gone better because you suffered it in advance? Has the feared meeting, the difficult day, the uncertain outcome ever unfolded exactly as your midnight mind predicted. Almost never. The worry does not prepare you. It only tires you so that you meet the real day, whatever shape it actually takes, with less rest and less strength than you would have had if you had simply slept. For here is the strange arithmetic of it. What tomorrow will actually need from you is a rested mind and a steady heart. That is the true preparation, to arrive at the day whole and rested and calm. And worry gives you the opposite. It spends tonight the very calm and rest you will need tomorrow, burning them up in 100 imagined versions of a day that has not come. So the worry does not just fail to prepare you, it actively unprepares you, robbing tomorrow of the rested self who was meant to meet it. The kindest and wisest thing you can do for the tomorrow you fear is not to worry about it, but to rest tonight so that you meet it strong. So let us do the true preparation now, which is simply to rest. Let the mind come all the way back from tomorrow, back into the body, back into the bed, back into this present breath. For the mind can run ahead into the future, but the body is always only here, now. The body is never in tomorrow. It is always in the present, breathing this breath, resting on this bed, in this quiet room. So let the body be your anchor home. Feel it now, the weight of you held by the bed, the warmth of the covers, the slow rise and fall of the breath, the quiet of the room around you. All of this is here now, real, present. And as you feel it, the mind, which had run so far ahead, is gently drawn back, out of the phantom future and into the real and present body, where it is safe, where it is home, where there is nothing to fear and nothing to solve, only this breath and this warmth and this quiet present moment where all is well. And let each breath draw you a little deeper into now. Breathing in, you are here. Breathing out, you are here. Not in tomorrow, not in the feared day, but here, now, in this single safe breath. And then this one, and then this one. The future cannot touch you here. It is not here. There's only now, and now is safe, and now is enough. And now, breath by breath, is carrying you gently down towards sleep. And there is a quiet mercy in remembering that you have met every single tomorrow you have ever faced. Think of it. Every difficult day you ever dreaded, every feared meeting, every uncertain outcome that once kept you awake, all of them came in their time, and all of them were met, and all of them passed. And here you are tonight, having survived every one. You have a perfect record of meeting your tomorrows, not always easily, not always the way you hoped, but you met them, each one, with the strength you had on the day, and you are still here. The worried mind acts as though tomorrow will be the one day you cannot meet, the one you must solve in advance or be destroyed by. But you have met them all. You will meet this one too when it comes, as you always have, with the strength that will be there on the day. You do not need to summon that strength tonight. It will be there tomorrow when it is needed. Tonight, you need only rest. So let the proof of all your met tomorrows reassure you now. You have never yet faced a day you could not meet. You will not begin tomorrow. Let that quiet confidence settle you, and let the breath carry it deeper, breathing in the trust that you will meet the day when it comes, breathing out the need to meet it tonight. There is nothing to face now. There is only this breath and this rest, and the quiet certainty that tomorrow, whatever it holds, will be met, as all your tomorrows have been met when it comes. Let the body grow heavy now, and let it be your teacher in this, for the body has never once worried about tomorrow. It does not know how. It knows only how to be here, breathing, resting, alive in the present moment, as it has always been. The heart beats now. The breath moves now. The body rests now. It cannot do otherwise. It is always and only here. So let the wise body lead the anxious mind home. Feel the body's simple presence, its weight, its warmth, its slow breath, all of it here now in the present, untroubled by any tomorrow. And let the mind sink down into that bodily presence, out of the future and into the flesh, out of the phantom and into the real, until mind and body rest together, here, now, in the one safe moment that is. And if the mind runs ahead once more, as it will, you need only feel the body again, the breath again, the bed again, and it will come home, as many times as it takes, without any scolding, without any struggle, gently drawn back from the phantom future into the warm and present flesh, and to the rest that is waiting here. Let us rest here for a moment. If your mind has run ahead into tomorrow tonight, rehearsing a day that has not come, you might gently notice that the feared day is not here, that you are safe now in this bed, in this breath. There is nothing to solve tonight, and no future you must live in advance. Let tomorrow wait. Come home to now, where all is well. When you are ready, we will go on together. The woman learned that she had suffered her feared day 100 times before living it once. But there is an old and gentle image that shows this even more clearly. The image of a bridge we exhaust ourselves crossing long before we ever reach it. So let us walk down now toward that bridge and learn the quiet freedom of not crossing it until we come to it. For there is an old saying, wise and kind, that we should not cross our bridges before we come to them. It sounds simple, almost too simple, and yet it names the whole of the worry that keeps us awake. For that is precisely what the anxious mind does. It runs ahead, down the road of the future, to some bridge it fears to cross, some difficult crossing that lies far ahead, and it crosses it again and again, in imagination, suffering the whole difficulty of it, long before it has actually walked the road that leads there, long before it knows whether the bridge will even still be standing, or whether the road will turn before it, or whether, when it finally arrives, the crossing will be nothing like the fearful thing it imagined. We wear ourselves out crossing bridges we have not yet reached, and may never reach, and that may not be there at all when we arrive. Let us explore a story about this. There was a traveller setting out on a long journey across an unfamiliar country, from his village to a distant town where he had business he was anxious about. And though the journey would take many days, and the anxious business lay at the very end of it, the traveller could not stop rehearsing that ending from the very first step. As he walked the first day's road, through pleasant country, past streams and fields and villages, he saw none of it, for his mind was far ahead, in the distant town, rehearsing the difficult meeting that awaited him there. He imagined every way it might go wrong. He rehearsed what he would say, and what they would say, and what he would say back, and how it might all fall apart. And so the first day's easy walking was spent not on the road he was actually on, but on a road far ahead that he had not yet reached, suffering a meeting that was still many days away. And so it went, day after day. The road was often gentle, the country often beautiful, but the traveller walked through all of it blind, his mind always racing ahead to the anxious ending, crossing and recrossing the feared bridge of that meeting long before he came to it. He arrived at each night's inn exhausted, not from the walking, which was pleasant, but from the endless rehearsing, which was not. He had walked many days' worth of easy road, and enjoyed none of it, for he had spent the whole journey somewhere he had not yet arrived. On the last evening before he reached the town, he shared a fire with an old traveller who had walked these roads for many years, and the old man saw how worn and anxious the young traveller was, and asked him what troubled him. The young man explained the meeting that awaited him, the ways it might go wrong, the difficulty of it. The old traveller listened, and then he said, "And have you reached it yet?" "No," said the young man. "It is tomorrow." "Then," said the old traveller, "you have not yet come to that bridge. Why are you crossing it tonight?" "Look," he said, and gestured to the country around them, the fire, the stars, the quiet evening. "This is the road you are actually on. It is a good road this evening. There is a fire and rest, and the stars are out. But you have not been here at all these many days. You have been in tomorrow's town, crossing a bridge you had not reached, suffering a meeting that had not come. And in doing so, you have missed the whole of the journey, all these good days' roads, all these quiet evenings spent somewhere you were not. The bridge will come tomorrow," said the old man, "and you will cross it then when you reach it, with whatever strength you have on the day, which will be more than you think, for the strength for the crossing always waits at the bridge itself, and is never found here, on the road before it. But tonight, you are not at the bridge. Tonight you are here, by this fire, under these stars. Be here. The bridge can wait until you come to it." The young traveller looked around him at the fire and the stars and the quiet country, as though seeing it for the first time in many days, and something in him eased. He had walked all this way somewhere else, in a tomorrow that was not here, crossing a bridge he had not reached, and now, for the first time since he set out, he simply sat by the fire, under the stars, on the road he was actually on, and the anxious rehearsing grew quiet, and he was, at last, where he was. And that night he slept, and in the morning he walked the last stretch of road, and came to the town, and to the meeting, and crossed the bridge when he reached it, with the strength he had on the day, which was, as it always is, enough. Let us stay with the traveller a moment, sitting at last by his fire, under his stars, on the road he was actually on. For the old man had given him the whole of the teaching we are exploring tonight. The bridge of tomorrow lies ahead on the road, and we cannot cross it until we come to it, however many times we cross it in imagination. And all the crossing and recrossing in advance gains us nothing. It only wears us out, and steals from us the road we are actually on, the good and quiet present that we walk right through, blind, while our minds are far ahead at a bridge we have not reached. The traveller had walked many days' worth of good road and enjoyed none of it, for he had spent the whole journey in a tomorrow that was not yet here. And you are on such a road tonight. The bridge you fear, the difficult tomorrow, lies ahead, and you cannot cross it until you come to it. But the anxious mind is trying to cross it now, tonight, in the dark, again and again, suffering the whole difficulty of it long before you have reached it, and may reach it, and may find, when you arrive, that the bridge is nothing like the fearful thing you imagined, or that the road has turned before it, or that the crossing, met on the day with the strength you actually have, is far gentler than the dread. And in all this crossing of a bridge you have not reached, you are missing the road you are actually on. This quiet evening, this warm bed, this peaceful now, where there is no bridge, only rest. So let us come back to the road we are actually on tonight. Wherever the mind has run ahead, to whatever feared bridge of tomorrow, you might gently call it home. And remember, you have not come to that bridge. You need not cross it tonight. You are here, now, in this bed, under the quiet dark, on the gentle road of this present evening, where there is no difficulty, no crossing, nothing to fear, only the fire of your own warmth, and the stars of the quiet night, and the good road of now beneath you. Be here. The bridge can wait until you come to it. Feel the breath moving slowly. Feel the quiet of the present road, and let the feared bridge stay where it is, far ahead, uncrossed, until the day you actually reach it. It helps to remember that a journey, any journey, is only ever walked one step at a time, and that each step, when we are actually taking it, is almost always manageable. It is only when we try to walk the whole road at once, in imagination, that it becomes overwhelming. Stand at the beginning of a long and difficult road and try to walk the whole of it in your mind, and you will be crushed by it. But take it one step at a time, actually, in reality, and each single step is small and possible and enough. The traveler was crushed not by any single step of his journey, all of which were easy, but by trying to walk the whole road and cross the final bridge all at once in his mind, days before he came to them. And we do the same with our tomorrows. We try to live the whole of the difficult day at once, tonight, in imagination, and it crushes us. But the day, when it comes, will not come all at once. It will come one moment at a time, one step at a time, each moment small and met with the strength of that moment, and you will walk through it as all hard days are walked, not in one overwhelming leap, but step by manageable step. So you do not have to carry the whole of tomorrow tonight. You do not have to walk the whole road at once. Tomorrow will come one step at a time, and each step will be enough for its moment, and you will meet it as it comes, not all at once but gently, in sequence, as the day unfolds. And tonight, this single step, this single moment, asks only one thing of you, to rest. That is the whole of the road before you tonight, not the meeting, not the difficulty, not the far bridge, only this, to rest now, in this present step, this present breath. So let us take just this one step now, the only step there is tonight, which is to rest. Let the whole long road of tomorrow fall away, and let there be only this single present moment, this single breath, this single quiet step of rest. Feel how light it is to carry only this one small moment, instead of the whole long weight of tomorrow. The whole road was never yours to carry all at once. It was only ever yours to walk, one gentle step at a time, and tonight not even to walk, but only to rest. Feel how the shoulders ease when they are no longer bearing the weight of the entire road ahead, but only this one small restful step. There is nowhere you must walk tonight. There is no bridge to cross, no road to finish, no distance to cover. There is only this step, this breath, this moment of rest, and it is enough, and it is gentle, and it is carrying you one soft breath at a time towards sleep. And if the mind runs ahead again, to the road, to the bridge, to the whole overwhelming journey, you need only bring it gently back to this single step, this single breath, as many times as it takes. One step, one breath, one present moment of rest, That is the whole of the road tonight, and you are walking it softly now. And notice too how much of the good road of your own life the worry has caused you to miss, just as the traveller missed his journey. For while the mind is away in tomorrow, the present, the only place life actually happens, goes by unlived. The quiet evening, the warm bed, the small good things of the present moment, all of it passes unnoticed while we are away in a feared future. And this is perhaps the greatest cost of worry, not only that it exhausts us, but that it steals the present from us, the one and only place we can ever actually be alive. Every moment spent in tomorrow is a moment of now, unlived, lost. And the now is where your whole life is. So to come back from tomorrow is not only to find rest, it is to reclaim your life, this present moment, this breath, this quiet good evening, which is the only place you ever truly are. So let us reclaim this present moment now, this good road of the present night. Let the mind come all the way back from the far bridge, back to the fire, back to the stars, back to this warm bed and this quiet room, which is the road you are actually on tonight. And let yourself simply be here, at last, on the good road of now, where there is rest and warmth and quiet, and the soft company of the present moment. This is your life, this present breath. Be here for it. Let the far bridge wait, and rest fully on the good and gentle road of now, which is carrying you softly towards sleep. There is nothing to walk toward tonight, and nowhere you must arrive. The whole of the road for tonight is simply this: to lie here and breathe and rest, one gentle moment at a time, letting each breath be a single, easy, present step, going nowhere, needing to go nowhere, resting fully in the one step that is here. And should the far bridge rise up in the mind again, you will simply remember, I have not come to it yet. I need not cross it tonight. I am here on the good road of now, taking only this one soft step of rest. And you will come back again and again to this single present step until the whole anxious journey grows quiet, and there is only the fire and the stars and the gentle road of now beneath you, carrying you towards sleep. There is no distance at all to cover tonight, and no crossing to make, and no road to finish. There is only this one restful step, and then this one, each of them here, each of them enough, each of them a single soft breath closer to sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If your mind has run ahead to some feared bridge of tomorrow, you might remember that you have not yet come to it, and need not cross it tonight. You are here on the quiet road of this present evening, where there is no bridge, only rest. Let the crossing wait until you reach it. Come back to the good road of now and rest. When you are ready, we will go on together. The traveller learned not to cross his bridge before he reached it, but beneath this lies a deeper truth still, one that can loosen worry at its very root, that the tomorrow we fear is not merely far off, but not yet real at all, a thing that does not exist and may never exist as we imagine it. So let us turn now to the strange and freeing truth about tomorrow, that it is not yet real. For here is a thing worth seeing clearly in the quiet of the night. The future does not exist. This is not a trick of words. It is the simple truth. The future is not a place that exists somewhere ahead of us, fully formed, waiting for us to arrive and suffer it. It is not real. It has no substance. It is a thought, arising in the present mind, a story we tell, an imagining, a rehearsal, and nothing more. The only thing that is ever real is now, this present moment, this breath. The past is a memory, arising now. The future is an imagining, arising now. And the tomorrow you are worrying about exists nowhere at all except in your thought of it, tonight, here, in this present moment, where you are actually safe. The Buddha taught deeply about impermanence, about the ceaseless changing of all things. And one face of this teaching is that the future can never be known or held because it is not yet, and by the time it comes, it will have changed 1,000 times from whatever we imagined. The tomorrow you fear tonight is built from the materials of today, your present fears, your present mood, your present imagining. But tomorrow, when it comes, will be made of its own materials, which do not yet exist, and which you cannot possibly foresee. And so the feared tomorrow you are suffering tonight is not the real tomorrow. It is a phantom, assembled entirely from tonight's fears, and the real tomorrow, when it finally arrives, will almost always be different, and usually far gentler than the phantom you dread tonight. Let us explore a story about this. There was a merchant who was by nature a worrier, and though his life was comfortable and his affairs were sound, he lived in constant dread of future disaster. Each night he lay awake, imagining the ruin that might come. He imagined his ships lost at sea, his goods spoiled, his fortune gone, his family cast into poverty. He suffered each of these disasters in vivid detail, night after night, living through the ruin, the shame, the hardship, all of it in his imagining, so completely that his body wept and his heart pounded as though it were truly happening. He was a wealthy man who lived every night as though he were being ruined, suffering a poverty that existed only in his fears. Now the merchant grew old, and one day, near the end of his long life, he sat with an old friend and looked back over the years, and his friend, who knew him well, asked him, "Of all the disasters you feared so greatly all those years, all the ruin you suffered in your imagining, night after night, how many actually came to pass?" The merchant was quiet for a long time, thinking back over his whole life, and slowly a strange and rueful understanding came over his face. "Almost none," he said at last. "I feared 1,000 ruins and suffered them all over and over in the dark. And of all those 1,000 feared disasters, perhaps 2 or 3 ever actually came, and those, when they came, were nothing like I had imagined, and I met them somehow and survived them, and they passed. I spent my whole life," he said, "suffering 1,000 ruins in my imagining, to meet, in reality, only 2 or 3, and those far gentler than my fears. I lived a life of poverty in my mind, and died a wealthy man in fact, having enjoyed almost none of my wealth, for I was too busy suffering ruins that never came." Let us stay with the old merchant a moment, looking back over a whole life spent suffering imagined disasters. For he had learned too late the great and rueful truth about worry, that we suffer in imagination 1,000 futures that never come, and that of the few troubles that do come, they arrive almost always different and gentler than we feared, and are met when they come with a strength we could not have known in advance. He had lived a whole lifetime of imagined ruin to meet, in reality, only a handful of real difficulties. Each survived, each passed. His worry had not prevented a single one of them, had not prepared him for a single one of them, had not made even one of them easier when it came. It had only stolen from him the peace of 1,000 nights in exchange for suffering disasters that did not exist and never would. And this is worth carrying gently into the dark tonight. The tomorrow you fear is not real. It does not exist. It is a phantom built from tonight's fears, and the real tomorrow, when it comes, will almost certainly be different and gentler than the one you dread. Look back over your own life and ask the old merchant's question. How many of the disasters you have feared so greatly ever actually came? And of those that came, how many arrived just as you had imagined? Almost none, most likely. Most of the futures you have suffered in the dark never happened at all. They were phantoms, suffered for nothing, in a future that did not exist. And the tomorrow you fear tonight is, most likely, another such phantom. A thing that will not come, or will come far gentler than you fear, met on the day with a strength you cannot know tonight. So let us let the phantom of tomorrow dissolve now, gently. Whatever ruin, whatever disaster, whatever difficult future you have been suffering in imagination tonight, you might see it now for what it is. Not real, not here, not yet. A phantom built from tonight's fears, most likely never to come as you imagine it. It does not exist. It is not happening. Not here, not now, not anywhere but in the imagining. There is no ruin here, in this bed, in this breath, in this safe and quiet present moment. There is only the phantom of a future that is not real, a shadow cast by tonight's fears upon a wall that is not even there, and you may let it dissolve, like the imagining it is, like a dream dissolving when we wake and return to the one thing that is real, which is now, this breath, this warmth, this quiet, where nothing is wrong and no disaster has come. Feel the solid, simple reality of the present, the weight of the body on the bed, the warmth of the covers, the slow and steady movement of the breath. This is real. The weight, the warmth, the breath, the quiet. The fear tomorrow is not real. It is only a thought passing through. Let the phantom go the way you would let a passing thought go, and rest in what is solid and here and real. There is a deep freedom hidden in this if we let it reach us, the freedom of not having to know. The worried mind believes it must know how tomorrow will go, must foresee it, must have it all worked out in advance, and so it labors night after night, trying to see a future that cannot be seen. But the future is genuinely unknowable. It is not yet, and it hasn't yet been decided, and it is made of materials that do not yet exist. Even the wisest being who ever lived could not tell you exactly how tomorrow will unfold, for it is not yet real to be known. And there is not a burden in this, but a great relief if we will accept it. You do not have to know how tomorrow will go. You cannot know. It is not your job to know, and it is not possible to know. And you may lay down tonight the exhausting and hopeless labor of trying to know an unknowable future, and rest instead in the soft not knowing that is simply the truth. For notice how much of worry is really the refusal to not know, the desperate need for certainty about a future that cannot offer it. We lie awake trying to nail down what cannot be nailed down, to be sure of what cannot be made sure, and the trying is itself the torment. But when we accept gently that we cannot know, that tomorrow is genuinely unwritten, that we will simply have to meet it when it comes and see, something in us can finally rest. The not knowing, which the anxious mind fights so hard, becomes, when accepted, a place of rest, an open, soft, unwritten space, like a blank page, like a clear sky before any cloud has formed, holding no disaster, because it holds nothing yet at all. So let us rest now in the soft not knowing of tomorrow, You do not have to know how it will go. You cannot know. And that is not a danger, but a mercy. For it means the feared future is not written, not fixed, not real, but open, unformed, a blank and gentle page. Let go of the exhausting need to know, to foresee, to be certain. Let tomorrow be genuinely unknown, an open sky before any cloud has formed, and feel how, when you stop trying to see what cannot be seen, the mind grows quiet, and the straining stops, and a soft, open peace spreads where the frantic foreseeing used to be. There is nothing to know tonight. There is nothing to foresee. There is only this present breath, in this present moment, and the gentle, open, unwritten mystery of a tomorrow that will simply come in its own time and be met in its own time and need not be known tonight at all. Let that open not knowing hold you now, soft and wide as a clear night sky, and let the breath move slowly within it, and let the straining to foresee dissolve into the gentle mystery of what has not yet come, carrying you, unburdened by the need to know, down towards sleep. Think too of how the future is like clouds that have not yet formed. Look up at a clear night sky and try to worry about the shape of tomorrow's clouds. You cannot, for they do not yet exist. The water that will one day make them has not yet risen, and the winds that will one day shape them have not yet begun to blow. Tomorrow's clouds are not yet real and cannot be known, and to lie awake trying to foresee their exact shape would be a kind of madness. And yet, this is precisely what we do with the future. We lie awake trying to foresee the exact shape of a day whose clouds have not yet formed, whose materials do not yet exist, whose weather has not yet been made. The feared tomorrow is like tomorrow's clouds, not yet formed, not yet real, unknowable tonight, and most likely nothing like the storm we imagine. Let the sky of tomorrow be clear and empty tonight, its clouds not yet formed, its weather not yet made, and rest beneath the clear and open sky of the present, where no storm has gathered, because there is nothing there yet at all, and feel the deep peace of that empty, open sky. The present moment, right now, holds no disaster. Look and see. In this actual moment, this breath, this bed, this quiet room, nothing is wrong. The disaster you fear is not here. It is in a tomorrow whose clouds have not formed. And in this present moment, the only real one, there is only peace, only quiet, only the soft and open sky of now, empty of every feared storm. Rest there, in the clear and open present, beneath a sky where no cloud of tomorrow has yet formed, and let the breath move slowly through that open peace, and let the unformed future stay unformed, far off, not yet real, while you rest, here, now, safe beneath the clear night sky of this present, untroubled moment. Let that clear and open peace hold you now, wide and empty and quiet, and let the breath deepen within it, and let every unformed cloud of tomorrow stay far off and unmade, while you rest in the safe, clear sky of the only moment that is real, drifting gently down towards sleep. So let the whole unformed, unknowable future stay where it is, far off and not yet real, and let there be only this, the solid, present, gentle now, the weight of the body, the warmth of the covers, the slow and faithful breath, and the simple, safe, untroubled reality of this one present moment, which holds no disaster and asks nothing of you, and is carrying you, breath by gentle breath, down into rest. And whenever some future storm gathers again in the mind, you will remember the clear night sky and the clouds not yet formed, and you will let the unmade weather of tomorrow stay unmade, far off unreal, while you rest beneath the open and untroubled sky of the present. For the present is always clear of tomorrow's storms, always safe, always empty of every feared disaster, because the disasters live only in a future that is not yet real. Rest then in the clear and present sky, and let the unformed future stay far away, unmade and unknown, while now this breath, this quiet moment, holds you gently and carries you down towards sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been suffering some phantom of tomorrow tonight, some imagined ruin or disaster, you might see it now for what it is, not real, not here, a phantom built from tonight's fears, most likely never to come as you imagine. It does not exist. Only now is real. Let the phantom dissolve and rest in the solid, safe reality of this present breath, where nothing is wrong. When you are ready, we will go on together. So let the phantom tomorrow stay in the realm of phantoms tonight, unreal, unformed, not yet, while you rest in the one solid and gentle reality there is, which is this present breath. We have seen that the feared tomorrow is not yet real, a phantom suffered for nothing, but the mind has a particular way of wounding itself with these phantoms, of firing an arrow forward into a future that has not come. And it is worth understanding this second arrow so that we may lay it down. It is time we looked at that arrow directly and learned to let it fall from the hand before it is ever loosed. So let us turn now to that second arrow, the one we aim forward, into the dark of a tomorrow that has not come. For the Buddha once offered a simple and striking picture of how we multiply our own suffering, and though he spoke it long ago, it fits the worrying mind tonight as though it were made for us. He said that when a painful thing happens to us, it is as though we are struck by an arrow, and that arrow hurts as arrows do. But then, he said, most of us reach for a second arrow and drive it into the very same wound, and this second arrow is not the event itself, but our own reaction to it, our resistance, our dread, our anguish over it. The first arrow is the pain that life itself brings. The second arrow is the pain we add to it, ourselves, with our own hand. And the Buddha's teaching was that we cannot always avoid the first arrow, but the second one, the one we fire into our own hearts, we can learn to lay down. Now, worry about tomorrow is a strange and particular use of this second arrow, for it fires the arrow forward into a wound that has not even been made yet. When we dread a coming difficulty, we reach ahead into the future and fire the second arrow into ourselves in advance, suffering the pain of a thing that has not happened, wounding ourselves tonight over an arrow that may never strike, or that, if it strikes, will strike tomorrow, not now. We do not wait for the first arrow of the actual difficulty. We fire the second arrow of dread into ourselves ahead of time, again and again, so that by the time the real difficulty comes, if it comes at all, we are already exhausted and wounded from having suffered it so many times in advance. Let us explore a story about this. There were two men who both faced the same difficult journey. Word had come that each of them would have to travel in a month's time across a hard and dangerous mountain pass on an errand that could not be avoided. The journey was real, and it would be difficult, and there was no way around it. This was the first arrow, and it would strike in its time for both of them equally. The first man, upon hearing the news, began at once to dread it. For the whole of that month, every day and every night, he thought of the coming journey. He imagined the cold of the pass, the danger of the cliffs, the exhaustion, the fear. He lived the difficult journey 100 times in his mind before he ever set out. He slept poorly, ate poorly, and grew thin and anxious and worn. So consumed was he by the dread of what was coming. By the time the month had passed and the day of the journey arrived, he was already exhausted, already worn down, already half defeated, having made the hard journey 100 times in dread before making it once, in fact. The second man, upon hearing the very same news, thought about it clearly for a little while. He made what preparations he could. He saw to his boots, his warm clothes, his supplies, the practical things that would actually help him on the day. And then, having done what the present allowed, he set the journey down. When the thought of it arose in the following weeks, he would notice it and gently remind himself, the journey is not today. Today I am here at home in the warmth, and the pass is a month away. I will make the journey when I come to it, with the strength I have on the day. And for that month, he lived his life and slept his nights, and kept his strength, and did not fire the second arrow of dread into himself over a journey that had not yet come. And when the day arrived, both men set out across the pass, and it was hard for both of them, as it was always going to be. The first arrow struck them both, but the first man, already exhausted from a month of dread, was so worn down that the journey nearly broke him. And the second man, rested and strong, having saved all his strength for the day itself, met the difficulty fresh and endured it, and crossed the pass, tired but whole. The journey was the same for both, but one had suffered it 100 times in dread, before suffering it once in fact, and the other had suffered it only once on the day, with all his strength intact. Let us stay with the two men a moment, both across the pass now, one broken by his dread and one whole. For they show us the whole difference between the first arrow and the second. The difficult journey was the first arrow, unavoidable, striking both men equally on the day. But the month of dread was the second arrow, fired forward into a wound not yet made, and it was entirely optional, entirely self-inflicted, and it did nothing but exhaust the one who fired it, so that he met the real difficulty already half defeated. The dread did not make the journey easier. It did not prepare him better. His boots and supplies did that, and those took only an afternoon. The dread only wounded him in advance, again and again, for a journey he then had to make anyway, with less strength than if he had never dreaded it at all. And this is the second arrow you may lay down tonight. Whatever difficulty you fear is coming, the real difficulty, if it comes, is the first arrow, and it will come in its own time, on its own day, and be met then, with the strength you have then. But the dread of it tonight, the suffering of it in advance, the firing of the second arrow into yourself over a thing that has not happened, that is optional, and it does nothing but exhaust you and rob tomorrow of the rest itself who was meant to meet it. You do not have to dread the coming thing tonight. You do not have to suffer it in advance again and again for a day that has not come. You may lay the second arrow down unfired and save your strength for the day itself, and rest tonight whole and unwounded in the present where no arrow has struck. So let us lay the second arrow down now, gently. If you have been firing the arrow of dread into yourself tonight, suffering some coming difficulty in advance, you might set the arrow down, unfired, and remember, The difficulty is not here. It has not come. Whatever it is, you will meet it on its day with the strength of that day, and you need not wound yourself with it tonight. Let the dread grow quiet now. Let the arrow lie unfired upon the ground, where you have gently set it down, and feel how, when you stop firing the second arrow forward into tomorrow, the wound that was never really there closes, and the body eases, and there is only the present, where no arrow has struck, where you are whole and safe, and wholly at rest. It is worth understanding why the mind fires this arrow forward at all, for it does not do it out of foolishness, but out of a kind of misguided love, a wish to protect us. The mind believes that if it suffers the coming thing in advance, it will somehow soften the blow, that by dreading it enough beforehand, the actual event will hurt less when it comes. But this is not how it works. Dreading a thing in advance does not soften it. It only means we suffer it twice, once in dread and once in fact, and the dread does nothing to lessen the real difficulty when it arrives. If anything, the dread makes the real thing harder, for we meet it exhausted, already worn down by all our advanced suffering. There is no bank of suffering we can pay into ahead of time to reduce the final bill. Each difficulty, when it comes, must be met with the strength of that day, and all we do by dreading it is spend that strength before we need it. For the truth is that the strength to meet any difficulty is not something we can summon tonight and store up for tomorrow. It is something that arises on the day, in the moment, when it is actually needed. You cannot feel tonight the strength you will have tomorrow, because that strength belongs to tomorrow and will be there tomorrow and is not available to be felt in advance. This is why, when we imagine facing a hard thing, it seems unbearable, because we are imagining facing it with tonight's strength, tonight's tiredness, tonight's fear, rather than with the strength that will actually be there on the day. But the strength will be there. It always is. Every hard thing you have ever faced, you face with the strength that arrived on the day that you could not have felt in advance. And so the feared tomorrow is unbearable only in imagination, only in the dark of tonight, only because we are imagining meeting it without the strength that will surely be there, waiting for us when the moment actually comes. So let us stop spending tomorrow's strength tonight, and let the body rest and gather that strength instead. The truest preparation for any coming difficulty is a rested body and a quiet heart, and that is exactly what worry destroys and what rest restores. So as you lie here, know that resting is not idleness, not avoidance, but the deepest possible preparation. You are gathering in this rest the very strength that tomorrow will need. Every slow breath, every softening muscle, every moment of quiet is strength being stored for the day to come. So rest without guilt, rest as preparation, rest as the wisest thing you could possibly do for the tomorrow you fear. Let the body grow heavy and still, gathering its strength in the dark, and trust that when tomorrow comes, and the difficulty with it, you will meet it fresh and rested and strong, with a strength that will be there on the day, arising just when it is needed, as it always has. Let the breath deepen and slow, and with each breath, let a little more of the dread drain away, and a little more strength gather quietly in its place, until you lie here not braced and exhausted, but soft and rested, and gathering, breath by breath, the calm strength that tomorrow will need, and that will surely be there when the day comes. And there is a further gentleness in seeing that the first arrow itself, the real difficulty, is almost always smaller than the dread makes it. The two men both crossed the same pass, but to the one consumed by dread, the pass had become, in his mind, a monstrous thing, an ordeal of terror, far larger and darker than the real mountain. And when he finally crossed it, exhausted as he was, some part of him must have noticed that the real pass, hard as it was not the monstrous thing his dread had built. The dread does not only exhaust us, it inflates the coming difficulty, swelling it into something far larger than it will actually be, so that we fear a monster and meet, in the end, only a mountain, hard but ordinary, far smaller than the fear. And this is nearly always so. The thing itself, when it comes, is almost always more ordinary, more manageable, more human-sized than the towering dread we built around it in the dark. The dread is the monster. The thing itself is only the thing. So you might remember tonight that whatever you dread has been inflated by the dreading, swollen into something larger than it will really be. The real tomorrow, when it comes, will be more ordinary than the monster your fear has built, and you will meet it not as the monster, but as the ordinary thing it is, on the day, with the strength of the day. Let the monster deflate then, tonight. Let the towering dread shrink back down to the human size of the real thing, which you will simply meet and manage and get through, as you have gotten through every hard and ordinary thing before it. There is no monster in your future, only the ordinary difficulties of an ordinary life, each one smaller than the fear that surrounds it, each one met and managed and passed in its time, as you have met and managed and passed every difficulty that has ever actually arrived. So let the dread deflate now, and the arrow lie unfired, and the body gather its quiet strength for whatever ordinary tomorrow comes. Feel the shoulders soften as the monster shrinks. Feel the chest ease as the towering fear comes down to human size. There is nothing monstrous coming, only the ordinary road of an ordinary life, which you are strong enough to walk, and which you need not walk tonight. Tonight there is only rest, and the quiet gathering of strength, and the slow, soft breath, and the warm safety of the present, where no monster waits, carrying you gently down towards sleep. And if the dread rises again, as it may, you need only remember the two men and the pass, and set the arrow down again, and let the body gather its strength again, as many times as it takes, until the dreading grows quiet, and the arrow lies still on the ground, and the rest grows deep, and the strength gathers softly in you for whatever gentle, ordinary tomorrow comes. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been firing the second arrow of dread forward into tomorrow, suffering some coming difficulty in advance, you might lay the arrow down now unfired and save your strength for the day itself. The difficulty is not here. You will meet it when it comes, with the strength you have then. For now, there is only the present, where no arrow has struck, and you are whole. Let the dread grow quiet and rest. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have laid down the second arrow of dread and saved our strength for the day itself. But beneath our dread lies a deeper mistake, the belief that tomorrow depends on our anxious effort tonight, that if we do not worry it into shape, it will go wrong. And so let us turn now to an old and gentle Zen truth that so much unfolds on its own, without our anxious help at all. For there is an old line, treasured in the Zen tradition, that goes something like this: sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Sit with those words a moment, in the quiet of the night. The grass grows by itself. We do not have to pull it up to make it taller. We do not have to worry it into growing. We do not have to lie awake at night anxiously supervising the grass, or the spring, or the turning of the seasons. It all unfolds on its own, in its own time, by its own deep and patient nature, without our effort, without our worry, without our anxious help. The spring comes whether we fret about it or not. The grass grows whether we supervise it or not. And so much of our life and so much of tomorrow is exactly like this, unfolding on its own, by its own nature, needing not our anxious control, but only our trust. The worrying mind does not believe this. It believes that everything depends on its vigilance, that if it stops worrying, stops planning, stops anxiously supervising the future, things will fall apart. It believes it is holding the world together by its worry, but it is not. The world holds itself together. The grass grows by itself, and our anxious supervision, far from helping, often only interferes, only exhausts us, only troubles the very unfolding it means to protect. Let us explore a story about this. There is an old story, told for many generations, about an impatient farmer who had planted his field with young rice and who watched over the small green shoots each day, anxious for them to grow. But to his frustration, they grew slowly at the quiet pace of growing things, a little each day, far too slowly for his anxious heart. He fretted over them. He willed them to grow faster, and at last, unable to bear the slowness, unable to simply trust the shoots to grow in their own time, he went out into the field and, one by one, he pulled gently up on each young shoot, tugging it a little higher out of the earth, thinking that by pulling them up, he was helping them grow taller, faster. He worked all day at it, tugging each shoot upward, and came home exhausted but satisfied, telling his family, "I have helped the rice grow. I pulled every shoot up higher today." But of course, in the morning, the field was ruined. Every shoot he had pulled had been torn from its roots, and by pulling them up to help them grow, he had killed them all. His anxious help, his impatience, his refusal to trust the shoots to grow in their own quiet time, had destroyed the very crop he was so desperate to hasten. Let us stay with the impatient farmer a moment, standing over his ruined field, and let us be gentle with him, for his mistake is our mistake. He could not bear the slow, patient unfolding of the growing shoots. He could not trust them to grow by themselves, in their own time. And so his anxious need to help, to hasten, to control, destroyed the very thing it meant to serve. The shoots did not need his help. They needed only time and patience, and to be left alone to grow by themselves, as growing things do. His worry did not help them grow. It killed them. His anxious supervision was not care. It was harm. And so much of our worry about tomorrow is exactly this. An anxious pulling up of shoots that would grow better if we simply left them alone. We lie awake, tugging at the future, trying to hasten it, control it, force it into the shape we want, believing our anxious effort is helping, when in truth the future, like the grass, like the rice, unfolds by its own nature, in its own time, and our worry does not help it along. It only exhausts us, and sometimes, like the farmer, it even harms the very unfolding we are so anxious about. The grass grows by itself. The spring comes on its own. Tomorrow will unfold in its own time, by its own nature, And it does not need your anxious supervision tonight, not for a single moment. It needs only your trust and your rest and your willingness to let it be. There is a deep relief in this if we can let ourselves believe it. You do not have to hold tomorrow together by your worry. You do not have to supervise the future or hasten it or control it or anxiously will it into shape. It will unfold on its own as the grass grows on its own, as the spring comes on its own. Whether you lie awake fretting over it all night or sleep peacefully through until the morning, and your worry does not help it along. It only wears you out and robs you of the rest you need. And sometimes, like the farmer's pulling, it even troubles the very thing it means to protect. So you may lay down the anxious supervision of tomorrow tonight and trust the future to grow by itself, as all things grow in their own time, without your help. So let us practice that trust now, the deep trust of the one who lets the grass grow by itself. Whatever tomorrow you have been anxiously supervising, trying to control or hasten or force into shape, you might now let it go and trust it to unfold on its own, in its own time, without your worry. You do not have to hold it together tonight. You do not have to pull at its shoots. You may sit quietly, do nothing, and trust that the spring will come and the grass will grow by itself, as it always has, without your anxious help. Feel the relief of laying down that supervision, of no longer having to hold the whole future together by your vigilance. Let the world hold itself together tonight, as it always has, without you. Let tomorrow grow by itself, in its own good time, as it always will, and rest now in the deep trust of one who knows that the grass grows by itself, and that all is unfolding as it should, without any need for you to lie awake and supervise it. There is a deep trust at the heart of this, the trust that the world is not held together by our worry, that things have their own way of unfolding, their own quiet competence, that does not depend on our anxious supervision. Look at all that unfolds tonight without your help. The earth turns, the tides rise and fall, the seeds sleep in the soil, the trees breathe out the night air, the stars wheel slowly overhead, and not one of these needs you to lie awake supervising it. It all unfolds by itself, in a vast and patient competence far older and deeper than your worry, and your own life and your tomorrow is woven into that same vast unfolding, held by the same deep competence, moving by the same patient laws, and it too does not need your anxious supervision to unfold. You are not holding the world together tonight. The world is holding you. Think of a river finding its way to the sea. It does not need an engineer to plan its course, to worry each bend into place, to anxiously supervise every turn. It simply flows and finds its way, following the deep pull of the land, around every obstacle, over every fall, down to the sea, by its own nature, without any worry at all. And your life is such a river, finding its way by its own deep nature, and tomorrow is simply the next bend in the river, which will be met and rounded in its own time, by the river's own flowing, without your needing to lie awake planning the course. You may trust the river of your life to find its way, as rivers do, without your anxious engineering. You may let it flow tonight toward whatever sea it is going to, and rest in the current, and trust the flowing. So let us rest now in that deep trust, the trust of the one who lets the river flow and the grass grow by itself. Let go of the supervision. Let go of the anxious planning of the course. Let go of the belief that you must hold tomorrow together by your vigilance, and simply rest in the vast, patient competence that holds all things, that turns the earth and grows the grass and flows the rivers to the sea, and that holds you too, and your tomorrow, and needs nothing from you tonight but that you trust it and rest. Feel yourself held by that great unfolding, one small part of a vast and patient competence, carried by it as a leaf is carried by a river, needing to do nothing, needing to supervise nothing, needing only to float and trust and be carried. And let that trust soften you and settle you and carry you, like the river to the sea, gently down towards sleep. Let the breath be the current now, carrying you, and let every muscle of supervision release, every anxious holding of the future let go, until you float entirely in the deep trust of the great unfolding, held and carried and safe, drifting toward the sea of sleep. And there is a deep peace too, in taking your small place within that great unfolding, rather than standing anxiously outside it, trying to control it. The worried mind sets itself apart from the world, above it, responsible for it, as though it alone must keep watch and hold everything in place. It is a lonely and exhausting position, this standing guard over the whole of the future. But it is not your true position. Your true position is within the great unfolding, a part of it, held by it, carried by it, like a leaf on a river, like a bird on the wind, like a child in loving arms. You are not the anxious guardian of the world responsible for holding tomorrow together. You are a small and beloved part of a vast and patient unfolding that has been holding itself together and holding you since long before you were born, and will go on long after, and asks nothing of you tonight but that you take your small place within it and rest. So let yourself take that small, restful place now within the great unfolding, and lay down the lonely guardianship of the future. You are not in charge of tomorrow. You never were. Tomorrow is held as you are held by something far vaster and more patient than your worry, and it will unfold in its own time, by its own deep competence, whether you supervise it or sleep. So you may sleep, you may lay down the watch, you may take your small, warm place within the great unfolding, and let it hold you and carry you, and tend to tomorrow while you rest, as it has always tended to every tomorrow, without needing your anxious help. Feel yourself held by that vastness now, one small and beloved part of it, carried and safe, needing to do nothing, needing to guard nothing, needing only to rest and trust and be carried gently towards sleep. Let go of the watch entirely now. Let the great unfolding keep itself as it always has. Let tomorrow be tended by the same patient competence that turns the earth and grows the grass, and let yourself simply rest, held and carried within the vast and gentle keeping of things drifting softly down towards sleep. There is a wonderful ease in becoming, for one night, someone who simply lets things be, who sits quietly and does nothing, and trusts the spring to come. We spend our days in doing, in effort, in making things happen, and we forget that there is a whole other way of being, older and deeper, the way of the grass and the river and the turning earth, the way of trusting, of allowing, of letting the great competence of things carry us. And the night is the time for this other way. The night does not ask you to do, to make, to control. It asks only that you stop and trust and let yourself be carried. So let tonight be a night of that older and gentler way, the way of non-doing, of trusting, of allowing, of letting the spring come and the grass grow by itself without your anxious hand upon it. Lay down all you're doing. Lay down all you're making and controlling and supervising, and simply be here, now, trusting the vast unfolding to unfold as it always has without you. And feel how restful it is, this non-doing, this trusting, how the whole body softens when it is no longer braced to control the uncontrollable, how the breath deepens when it is no longer holding the future in place. You have done enough today. You have made and controlled and planned and supervised more than enough. Now, for these hours, you may lay all of it down and enter the older way, the way of rest, the way of trust, the way of the grass that grows by itself, and let the doing cease and the trusting begin, and the deep, trusting rest of non-doing carry you, like a leaf on a patient river, gently and surely towards sleep, while the great unfolding tends to everything, as it always has, without any need for you. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been anxiously supervising tomorrow, trying to control or hasten or hold it together by your worry, you might let it go now and trust it to grow by itself, as the grass grows, as the spring comes, in its own time. Without your help, you do not have to hold the whole future together tonight. It was never once yours to hold. Sit quietly, do nothing, and let it unfold on its own, in its own good time, as the grass grows and the spring comes, without your anxious hand. Rest in that trust and let it carry you towards sleep. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have learned to trust the future to unfold by itself, like the grass that grows without our help. But our worry clings to one last handhold, the belief that we can and must know how it will turn out. And so let us turn now to the deep and freeing truth that we cannot know, and to the deep and open peace that comes when we finally stop trying. For beneath all our worrying lies a hidden demand, the demand to know. We lie awake trying to know how tomorrow will go, to foresee it, to be certain of it, as though certainty were possible, as though the future could be known in advance. And when we cannot know, which we never can, we do not accept the not knowing. We fight it, we strain against it. We try harder and harder to foresee what cannot be foreseen, and the straining is the torment. But the future is genuinely unknowable, not because we are not clever enough, but because it is not yet. It has not happened. It is not there to be known. And there is, hidden inside this unknowability, not a danger, but a deep and gentle freedom, if we can only accept it. For we do not even know whether the thing we dread is truly bad. We assume it is. We label the coming event as disaster, as threat, as something to be feared, and then we suffer that label. But we cannot actually know how any event will turn out, or what it will lead to, or whether the thing we dread might not turn out to be the doorway to something good we cannot yet imagine. The future is not only unknown in its details, it is unknown in its very meaning. And to lie awake dreading a thing whose meaning we cannot possibly know is to suffer for a story we have made up, a story that may be entirely wrong. Let us explore a story about this, an old one, told for many generations in many lands. There was an old farmer who lived simply and who had one horse, which he used to work his fields. One day, the horse ran away, escaping into the hills, and the farmer's neighbors came to him and said, "Oh, what terrible luck! Your only horse has run away. This is a disaster." And the old farmer only shrugged and said, "Maybe, perhaps, we will see." A few days later, the horse returned from the hills, and it brought with it several wild horses, which followed it into the farmer's corral. And the neighbors came again and said, "Oh, what wonderful luck! Now you have many horses. This is a great fortune." And the old farmer only shrugged and said, "Maybe, perhaps, we will see." Not long after, the farmer's son was trying to tame one of the wild horses, and he was thrown, and his leg was broken. And the neighbors came and said, "Oh, what terrible luck! Your son's leg is broken. This is a disaster." And the old farmer only shrugged and said, "Maybe, perhaps, we will see." And a little while after that, the army came through the village, conscripting all the young men to go and fight in a distant and terrible war from which few would return. But the farmer's son, with his broken leg, was passed over and left at home. And the neighbors came and said, "Oh, what wonderful luck! Your son was spared." And the old farmer only shrugged and smiled and said, "Maybe, perhaps, we will see." Let us stay with the old farmer a moment and his endless, gentle maybe. For he had understood something the neighbors never grasped, that we cannot know in the moment whether any event is good luck or bad, fortune or disaster, for its meaning is not yet complete and will keep changing as the future unfolds, and what looks like ruin today may turn out to be the seed of tomorrow's blessing, and what looks like fortune today may lead in time to tomorrow's sorrow. The horse running away, which seemed a disaster, brought many horses. The many horses, which seemed a fortune, led to the broken leg. The broken leg, which seemed a disaster, saved the son's life. Each event's meaning was not what it first appeared, and kept changing, and could not be known in the moment. And so, the old farmer did not rush to judge, did not rush to grieve or celebrate, but simply met each thing with a calm and open maybe, we will see, trusting that the meaning of things was not yet complete, and could not be known, and need not be judged in advance. And this is the deep freedom hidden in the unknowability of tomorrow. You cannot know whether the thing you dread is truly bad. You cannot know what it will lead to, or what it will mean, or whether it might not turn out, in the end, to be the doorway to something you cannot yet imagine. The story is not complete. The meaning is not yet made, and cannot be, until the whole of it has unfolded. And so you may hold the fear tomorrow not with dread, but with the old farmer's gentle maybe. Perhaps it will be hard, perhaps not. Perhaps it will lead to sorrow, perhaps in time, to some blessing we cannot yet imagine. We cannot know, we will see. And in that open, gentle not knowing, the dread loses its grip, for you can no longer be certain the feared thing is even the disaster you imagined. It might be, it might not be. You cannot know. And you may rest tonight in the soft and open space of not knowing, freed from the need to judge a future whose meaning is not yet made. So let us hold tomorrow with a gentle maybe now, and let the dread dissolve into the soft freedom of not knowing. Whatever you have been dreading as a certain disaster, you might now hold it instead with the old farmer's open maybe. Perhaps it will be hard, perhaps not. Perhaps it will lead where I fear, perhaps somewhere I cannot imagine. I cannot know, I will see. Feel how the certainty of dread loosens when you can no longer be sure the feared thing is even bad. Feel how the mind, released from the impossible labor of foreseeing and judging an unknowable future, grows quiet and open and soft. There is nothing to know tonight. There is nothing at all to judge and nothing to foresee. There is only the gentle maybe of a future not yet made and not yet real, and the soft, open peace of not needing to know, carrying you, unburdened, towards sleep. There is a lightness that comes when we truly accept that we cannot know, a lightness the certainty-seeking mind can hardly imagine. For the mind believes that certainty would bring peace, that if it could only know how tomorrow would go, it could finally rest. But this is backward. It is the demand for certainty that destroys our peace, and the acceptance of not knowing that restores it. Certainty about the future is not available and never was, and the endless chasing of it is the very thing that keeps us awake. But not knowing, once accepted, is not a torment at all. It is an open, spacious, restful thing, like a wide, clear sky, like a blank and gentle page, holding no disaster because it holds nothing yet, full of possibility rather than dread. Think of tomorrow as a book you have not yet read, whose story is not yet even written. The anxious mind insists on writing the darkest possible ending in advance, and then suffering that ending as though it were certain. But the book is not written. The ending is not fixed. The story of tomorrow is still entirely open, unwritten, full of possibilities you cannot foresee, most of them far gentler than the ending your fear has scrawled in advance. And you do not have to write that dark ending tonight. You do not have to read a book that does not yet exist. You may let tomorrow's story stay unwritten, open, full of unforeseeable possibility, and rest in the gentle not knowing of a tale not yet told, trusting that when it is finally written, in its own time, it will hold far more grace than your fear allows. For so often, when we look back, we find that the chapters of our lives we most dreaded turned out utterly different from our fears, and that the good things that came to us were things we never could have foreseen or planned, things that arrived from directions we were not even looking. The future has a way of being far more surprising and often far kinder than our fears predict, precisely because it is not written by our fears, but unfolds by its own vast and unforeseeable nature. And so the not knowing, which the anxious mind fears, is actually the very room in which all the unforeseeable good of your life will arrive, good you could never have planned or predicted, coming to you from a future you cannot see. To insist on knowing the future is to close that door. To rest in not knowing is to leave it open, open to grace, open to surprise, open to all the good that only an unwritten future can bring. So let us rest now in the open, unwritten book of tomorrow, and let the not knowing be a room full of light rather than dread. You do not have to know how the story goes. You do not have to write its ending tonight. Let it stay open, unwritten, full of unforeseeable possibility, and rest in the gentle mystery of a tale not yet told. Feel how much lighter it is to hold the future open rather than to nail it shut with dread. Feel the spaciousness of not knowing, wide and clear as a night sky, holding no fixed disaster, only open possibility. And rest there, in that open, gentle, unwritten space, released from the impossible labor of foreseeing, trusting the unwritten story to unfold in its own time, with its own grace, while you rest tonight in the soft and open peace of not needing to know. Let that open sky of not knowing hold you now, wide and clear and full of quiet possibility, and let the breath move slowly beneath it, and let every attempt to foresee, to fix, to know, dissolve into the gentle mystery of the unwritten, carrying you softly down towards sleep. And notice how this not knowing connects you, quietly, to every other living being, for no one knows their tomorrow. No one has ever known it, And yet life goes on, and people meet their days and rise and love and rest, all of them walking forward into a future none of them can see. The whole of humanity walks blind into tomorrow, always has and always will, and this is not a catastrophe to be solved, but simply the quiet condition of being alive, shared by everyone who has ever lived and everyone who ever will. The wisest sages, the calmest hearts, did not know their tomorrows any more than you know yours. They simply made their peace with not knowing and met each day as it came. And you may join them tonight in that ancient and universal peace, the peace of the ones who stopped demanding to know the unknowable and learned instead to meet each day as it arrived, trusting the unwritten future to unfold as it would. For to be at peace with not knowing is not to be careless, and it is not to be passive. It is simply to be honest about the one thing that has always been true, that the future cannot be known, and to stop torturing ourselves with the impossible demand to know it. The farmer with his gentle maybe was not careless. He tended his fields, cared for his son, did what each day asked. He simply did not add to his labors the impossible labor of foreseeing and judging a future that had not come. And you may live the same way, doing what each day asks when it asks it, and no more, meeting tomorrow when it comes, and not before, holding the unknown future with a gentle maybe rather than a certain dread, and resting tonight in the honest and open peace of one who has made friends with not knowing. So let us rest now in that ancient peace, the peace of all who have ever walked blind and trusting into tomorrow. You do not know how your tomorrow will go, and you never could, and that is simply the truth of being alive, shared by all. Let go of the demand to know. Let the future be unknown tonight, as it has always been, and as it always will be, and meet it when it finally comes, as all beings before you have met their days, one at a time, as they arrive, and rest tonight in the good company of every heart that has ever trusted the unknown, held in that ancient and gentle peace, no longer straining to see what cannot be seen, but resting, open and unknowing and unafraid, letting the unwritten tomorrow stay unwritten while you drift softly towards sleep. Let the not knowing be a soft, wide resting place now, and let the breath move slowly within it, and let the whole weight of needing to foresee, to judge, to be certain, dissolve into the gentle, ancient peace of trusting the unknown, carrying you down, unburdened, into sleep. And if the dread rises again in the night, insisting once more that it knows the disaster to come, you will simply meet it with the old farmer's gentle maybe, and let the certainty dissolve again into the soft, open not knowing as many times as it takes, until the dreading grows quiet, and the demand to know dissolves, and the open peace of not knowing grows wide and deep and soft around you, holding you gently in its clear and empty sky. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been dreading tomorrow as a certain disaster, you might hold it now with the old farmer's gentle maybe. Perhaps, perhaps not. I cannot know. We will see. Feel the dread loosen when you can no longer be certain the feared thing is even bad. Rest in the soft, open, spacious freedom of not knowing, released at last from the impossible need to foresee or judge or be certain. Let the gentle maybe and the soft, open peace of not knowing carry you towards sleep. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have found a quiet freedom in the gentle maybe, in no longer needing to know or judge or foresee the unknowable future. And this quiet trust brings us, at last, to the one place that is always knowable, always here, always safe, the ground beneath every unknowable tomorrow, the present breath, the only ground we ever truly stand upon. So let us turn now to that breath, the one sure ground beneath us, and to the deep rest of coming home at last, to now. For of all the things in this uncertain world, there is one that is always here, always now, always present, never in tomorrow, never in the feared future, the breath. The breath is the one sure ground beneath our feet, the one thing that is always happening in the present moment, the one anchor that can always bring us home from wherever the mind has wandered. You cannot breathe in tomorrow. You cannot breathe in the past. You can only ever breathe now, this breath, in this present moment. And so the breath is always a doorway home, always a way back from the phantom future to the safe and solid present, always waiting, always here. The Buddha taught, as one of the very heart of his teachings, the simple practice of mindfulness of breathing, the gentle resting of attention on the breath, following it in and following it out, as a way of steadying the mind and returning it again and again to the present moment. It is one of the oldest and the simplest and the most reliable of all the ways home there is, and it asks nothing of us but that we notice the breath that is already breathing, already here, already carrying us through this present moment. And for the worried mind, the mind that runs so far ahead into tomorrow, the breath is the surest anchor there is, a rope that reaches from the wandering mind back to the solid ground of now and pulls it, gently, home. Let us explore a story about this. There was a young monk who was tormented by worry about the future. Though he had come to the monastery seeking peace, his mind was forever racing ahead to what would become of him, to the trials that might come, to the uncertain years ahead, and he could not still it. He went to the old master and confessed his trouble. "My mind will not stay here," he said. "It is always in tomorrow, always in the years to come, always racing ahead into what has not happened. How do I bring it home?" The old master did not give him a long teaching. He simply said, "When the mind runs to tomorrow, follow your breath home. Feel the breath come in, feel it go out. That breath is always here, always now. It cannot be anywhere but now. So whenever you notice that the mind has run ahead into tomorrow, simply return to the breath, and it will bring you home, back to this present moment, where you actually are and always have been." "Do this," said the master, "not once, but 10,000 times over, as many times as the mind runs off ahead of you. Each time, follow the breath home." And the young monk practiced this. Each time he noticed his mind had raced ahead into tomorrow, he returned gently to the breath coming in, the breath going out, here, now, always now. And at first the mind ran off again almost at once, and he had to return again and again, 1,000 times an hour. But each time, the breath brought him home. And slowly, over the seasons, the returning grew easier, and the mind stayed home a little longer each time, until the young monk found that he could rest, at last, in the present breath, and that the future, which had so tormented him, could not reach him there, in the now, where the breath was always breathing. He had not solved the future. He had not learned to control it. He had simply learned the way home, the way back from the phantom tomorrow to the solid now, and the way home was always only and simply the breath. Let us stay with the young monk a moment, resting at last in the present breath, the future no longer able to reach him there, for the old master had given him the simplest and surest of all anchors, the breath, always here, always now, always a way home from the wandering future to the solid present. Whenever the mind runs ahead into tomorrow, the breath is there, waiting to bring it home, not by force, not by struggle, but simply by returning gently to the breath that is already breathing here, now, in this present moment. And the future cannot follow us there. It cannot reach into the present breath. In the now, where the breath is, there is no tomorrow, no feared future, no phantom disaster, only this breath and this moment and the simple, solid safety of being here now. And you have this same anchor tonight, always available, never far. Whenever the mind runs ahead into tomorrow, worrying, planning, dreading, you may simply follow the breath home. Feel the breath come in, feel it go out. That breath is here, now, in the present, where you are safe, where nothing is wrong, where tomorrow cannot reach. And each time the mind runs off again, as it will, you need only return gently to the breath, without struggle, without scolding, as many times as it takes. The breath will always bring you home. It is the one sure ground in all this uncertain world, the one thing that is always now, always here, always waiting to carry you back from the phantom future to the safe and present moment. So let us follow the breath home now, gently, and rest there, in the present moment, where the future cannot reach us at all. Feel the breath now, coming in slow and soft, filling you gently and completely, and feel it go out, slow and long, carrying a little of the day's worry away with it. Breathing in, you are here. Breathing out, you are home. Not in tomorrow, not in the feared future, but here now, in this single present breath, where all is well. Let the breath be your anchor, holding you in the present, and each time the mind drifts toward tomorrow, let the breath draw it gently home again, back to now, back to the breath, back to the simple safety of this present moment. There is nowhere else you need to be tonight, and nothing you need to do. There is no tomorrow you need to reach, and no future you need to solve. There is only this breath, and then the next breath, and then the next. Each one here, each one now, each one carrying you a little deeper into the present, a little further from tomorrow, a little closer to the deep and gathering quiet of sleep. There is an image that may help you feel this even more deeply, the image of an anchor in a storm. Picture a small boat on a troubled sea, tossed by wind and wave, pitching and rolling, in danger of being driven wherever the storm wills. And now picture that boat dropping its anchor down through the tossing water, down to the deep still bottom where no storm ever reaches, and taking hold there. The surface may still toss, the wind may still blow, but the boat, anchored to the deep, is held steady, no longer driven about, riding out the storm from a place of stillness. And the breath is such an anchor. The mind's worries are the storm on the surface, tossing and pitching, driven by the winds of tomorrow. But the breath drops down through all that surface trouble to the deep still present, and takes hold there and holds you steady, no longer driven about by every gust of worry, anchored in the calm deep of the present moment while the surface storm blows itself out above. So let the breath be your anchor now, dropping down through all the surface worry to the deep still present, and taking hold there, holding you steady in the now while the storm of tomorrow blows itself out far above. Feel the breath drop deeper with each cycle, the anchor sinking down into the still deep of the present, where no worry reaches, where all is calm. Breathing in, the anchor holds. Breathing out, you settle deeper into the still deep present, held, steady, safe, no longer tossed by the surface storm of tomorrow. And now let us simply follow the breath, gently, for a while, letting it carry us deeper into the present and towards sleep. You need not control the breath, only follow it, feeling each one. Feel this breath coming in, cool and slow, filling the belly, the chest, and feel it going out, warm and long, softening you, sinking you deeper. And the next breath, coming in, here, now, and going out, letting go. There is nothing to do but follow the breath, one after another, each one anchoring you more deeply in the present, each one a little slower, a little softer, a little further from tomorrow and closer to sleep. If the mind drifts to the future, no matter. Simply return to the breath, the anchor, the deep, still present, and follow it again, in and out, here and now. Each breath a small homecoming, each breath a little deeper into rest. Let the breath grow slower now and quieter, and let the counting of it, the following of it, soften into simply being breathed, the anchor holding fast in the deep, the surface storm forgotten, the present holding you gently in its still deep calm, carrying you, breath by anchored breath, down into sleep. And there is something worth knowing about the breath, which is that it is not only a way home to the present, but a teacher of trust as well, for the breath breathes itself. You do not have to remember to breathe. You do not have to manage it, or worry it, or supervise it. It has been breathing you faithfully every moment of your life, waking and sleeping, since before you were born, without any effort on your part at all. Even now, as you rest, the breath comes and goes on its own, asking nothing of you, tending to you without your help. And if the breath can be trusted to breathe you through the night, without your worry, without your supervision, then perhaps so can the rest of your life and your tomorrow, held by the same deep and faithful competence that breathes you. The breath is a small daily proof that you are held, that life tends to itself, that you do not have to manage everything by your own anxious effort. So each breath is not only a homecoming to now, but a small reminder to trust, to let go, to allow yourself to be carried, as the breath carries you faithfully without your help. So let yourself be breathed now, entirely, and let that being breathed teach you trust. You do not have to do the breathing. Let it breathe you. Let it rise and fall on its own, tending to you, carrying you as it always has. And as you let the breath breathe you, let that trust spread outward into the rest of your life, into tomorrow, into all that you've been trying so hard to manage and control. If the breath can be trusted, so can the deep unfolding of things. Let yourself be carried tonight as the breath carries you, without effort, without supervision, without worry, held by a faithful competence far older and deeper than your anxious mind, and rest, being breathed, being carried, being held gently, all the way down into sleep. And you might notice, as you rest with the breath, how the body itself is always only in the present, and how it can teach the anxious mind to come home. The mind may run to tomorrow, but the body never does. It cannot. The body is always here breathing this breath, resting on this bed, in this present moment, and nowhere else. It does not know how to be in tomorrow. And so the body, like the breath, is a faithful anchor to now, always available, always present, always able to bring the wandering mind home. When the mind races to the future, you can feel the body here now, its weight on the bed, its warmth, its slow breath, and be drawn back out of the phantom tomorrow and into the real and present body, where you are always safe, always now. So let the body be your teacher and your home tonight, this faithful present body that has never once left the now, and let the racing mind sink down into it, out of the future and into the flesh, out of tomorrow and into the warm, breathing, present body, at rest here now, where it has always been, and feel the whole of the present gathered here in the body, in the breath, the weight of you held by the bed, the warmth of the covers, the slow rise and fall of the breath, the quiet of the room, all of it here, all of it now, all of it real and present and safe. This is where you live, not in tomorrow, which is a thought, but here, in this present body, this present breath, this present moment, which is the only place you have ever actually been or ever will be. So come home to it, fully, tonight. Sink down into the present body, the present breath, the present moment, and rest there, where the future cannot reach, where all is well, where there is only now, and now is safe, and now is enough, and now is carrying you, breath by breath, gently down into sleep. There is no destination in this breathing, and nothing to achieve. There is only the breath and the present, and the slow settling into rest. So follow it gently, without effort, without goal, one soft breath after another, and let each one carry you a little deeper into the now and a little closer to sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If the mind has been running ahead into tomorrow, you might follow the breath home now, back to the present, where the future cannot reach. Feel the breath come in and go out, here, now, always now. And each time the mind drifts to tomorrow, let the breath bring it gently home again, as many times as it takes. Rest in the present breath, the one sure ground, where all is well. When you are ready, we will go on together. The breath brings us home to now, again and again, out of the phantom future. But the worried mind has one last reasonable sounding objection, that we must think about tomorrow, must prepare, must plan, or we will be caught unready. And so let us turn now to the difference between worry and true preparation, and to the quiet freedom of doing what the day asks, and then resting. For the worried mind will say, but I cannot simply ignore tomorrow. There are things I must do, things I must prepare, responsibilities I cannot set down. And this is true. Tomorrow does ask things of us, and there is a real preparation, a real tending to what is coming, that is wise and necessary and good. But here is the crucial difference, the difference that sets us free. Real preparation is not the same as worry. Real preparation is done in the daylight, with the hands, in a finite time, and then it is finished. Worry is done in the dark, in the mind, endlessly, and it is never finished. Real preparation actually helps tomorrow. Worry only exhausts today and helps nothing at all. And the wise learn to do the one and to lay down the other. Consider the two clearly. If there is something you can do today to be ready for tomorrow, some real and useful preparation, then do it in the daylight with your hands and let it be enough. That is wisdom. But once you have done what the day actually allows, once the real preparation is finished, then to go on turning tomorrow over and over in the mind through the night is not preparation at all. It is only worry, and it prepares nothing and helps nothing and does only harm. The line between them is clear once you see it. Real preparation is an action taken in the daylight that comes to an end. Worry is a rumination spun in the darkness that never ends at all. Do the action. Lay down the rumination. That is the whole of it. Let us explore a story about this. There was a fisherman who went out each day upon the sea, and whose life depended on his nets and his boat. And because his living depended on them, it was right and necessary that he tend them well. So each evening, when he returned from the sea, he would carefully inspect his nets and mend any tears and check his boat for leaks and set his lines in order and prepare everything for the next day's fishing. This was real preparation, done with his hands in the daylight. And when it was finished, his nets were mended, his boat was sound, and everything was ready for the morning. Now there were 2 fishermen in the village, and they tended their nets equally well. But at night, after the work was done, they differed greatly. The first fisherman, once his nets were mended and his boat made ready, would lie down and rest, trusting the work he had done, letting the evening be evening and the night be night. He had done what the day asked. The nets were mended. There was nothing more to be done until morning, and so he slept. But the second fisherman, though his nets were equally well mended, could not rest. He would lie awake, worrying about the nets. Had he mended them well enough? What if a net tore tomorrow? What if the boat sprang a leak far from shore? What if the fish did not come? He would lie awake, turning these worries over and over, though there was nothing more he could do about any of them in the dark, though his nets were already mended, though the worry changed nothing at all. And so he rose each morning exhausted, worn down by a night of worrying over nets that were already mended, while the first fisherman rose rested and strong. And here is the thing worth seeing. Both men had done exactly the same real preparation. Both had mended their nets equally well. The worry of the second man had not made his nets one thread stronger than the first man's. It had not prepared him better. It had accomplished nothing that the daylight mending had not already accomplished. It had only stolen his rest and worn him down, so that he met each day weaker than the man who had done the same work and then simply trusted it and slept. The worry added nothing to the preparation. It only subtracted from the rest. And this is the freedom you may claim tonight. Whatever real preparation your tomorrow asks, if you have done what today allowed, if you have mended the nets that could be mended, then the work is done, and there is nothing more to do until morning, and you may rest, trusting the work you have done. And if there is real preparation still to do, it will be done tomorrow, in the daylight, with your hands, when the time for it comes, not tonight, in the dark, in the mind, when nothing can actually be prepared. For nothing is ever truly prepared by worrying about it in the night. The nets are mended with the hands in the light of day, or not at all. The worry in the dark mends nothing and never has. It only steals the rest you need to fish well tomorrow and leaves you weaker for the taking. So let us set down the worry now and trust the work already done, and let the night be night. Whatever you could do today, you have done or will do tomorrow when the day comes. And whatever you cannot do, the worrying will not accomplish. The nets that could be mended are mended. There is nothing more to be done tonight. And so, like the wise fisherman, you may lay down the work and trust it, and let the evening be evening, and the night be for rest. Feel the deep permission in this. You have done enough for today. The day's work is finished. There is nothing more that can be done in the dark, and so you are free, entirely free, to rest, to let go of tomorrow's tending until tomorrow, and to give this night wholly to sleep. Let the hands, which have done the day's work, lie open and still. Let the mind, which has done all the real preparing it can, grow quiet, and rest, trusting the mended nets, in the good and finished quiet of a day's work done. There is nothing more the night asks of you than this, to trust what you have done, and to let the rest be rest. So let it be rest, wholly and without guilt, and let the mended nets wait, sound and ready, for a morning that will come in its own good time. It is worth seeing how cleverly worry disguises itself as responsibility, for this is how it keeps its hold on us. It whispers that if we are not worrying, we are being careless, that a good and responsible person must lie awake tending to tomorrow, that to rest is somehow to neglect our duties. And so we feel that our worry is a kind of virtue, a proof that we care, and we let it run, believing we must, believing that to stop worrying would be to fail in our responsibilities. But this is the great deception. Worry is not responsibility. Responsibility is doing what the day asks, with the hands, in the daylight. Worry is lying awake at night accomplishing nothing. A truly responsible person does the day's real work and then rests, so as to be strong for the next day's real work. It is the worrier, not the rester, who fails tomorrow by arriving at it exhausted. The most responsible thing you can do for tomorrow, once the day's real work is done, is to rest well tonight. For the night is not the office. The night is not the field or the workshop or the place of doing. The night is the place of rest, the time set aside, in the deep wisdom of things, for the body and mind to be restored. To drag the work of the day into the night, to lie awake laboring at tomorrow, is to violate the very purpose of the night, and to arrive at tomorrow depleted, having stolen from your rest to feed your worry. The wise keep the day for doing and the night for rest, and do not confuse the two. They work when it is time to work with their whole strength, and they rest when it is time to rest with their whole trust, and because of this they meet each day strong. So let this night be for its true purpose, which is rest. The work will be there tomorrow, in the daylight, where it belongs. Tonight belongs to sleep. So let us give this night wholly to its true purpose now, and let the work of tomorrow stay in tomorrow, where it belongs. You are not being careless by resting, you are being wise. You are not neglecting tomorrow by sleeping. You are preparing for it in the deepest way there is. So lay down the false responsibility of worry and take up the true responsibility of rest. Let the mind, which has done all its real work for the day, clock off now and close the office of the day, and turn to the good and proper work of the night, which is simply to rest. Feel how much of your worry was only this false sense that you ought to be tending to tomorrow, and how, when you see it for what it is, you are free to lay it down and to rest without guilt in the deep knowledge that rest is exactly what tomorrow most needs from you tonight. Let the whole body release now into that permission, the permission to rest, to do nothing, to be entirely off duty until the morning. Let the shoulders drop. Let the hands, which have done the day's work, lie still and open. Let the mind close its ledgers and turn out its lights. The day's work is done. The night's work is only rest. And you may give yourself to it entirely now, laying down the false labor of worry and taking up at last the true and healing work of sleep. And notice how much lighter the whole of life becomes when we keep this simple boundary, doing in the day, resting in the night. It is not that we do less. Often we do more and better, for we bring a rested strength to each day's work instead of the depleted exhaustion of the chronic worrier. The one who rests well at night works well by day, meets each task with full strength, and then lays it down again at nightfall in a healthy rhythm of doing and resting, effort and renewal that can be sustained for a whole long life. But the one who never lays the work down, who drags it into every night, who worries through the hours meant for rest, burns out, grows thin, meets each day with less, and cannot sustain it. So the resting is not laziness. It is the very thing that makes a life of good work possible. To rest tonight is to invest in every tomorrow, to keep the well from running dry, to ensure that there will be strength for all the days to come. So there is no guilt to be had in this rest, only wisdom. You are not abandoning tomorrow by sleeping tonight. You are ensuring that you will meet it well. You are keeping the ancient rhythm that all living things keep, the rhythm of day and night, effort and rest that sustains everything that lives. The field rests through the winter so that it may bear through the summer. The body rests through the night so that it may work through the day. This is not neglect. It is the deepest tending there is. So tend to tomorrow now in the truest way, by resting tonight, by keeping the night for its purpose, by letting the well refill in the dark so that there will be water for all the days to come. So let the day's work stay finished now, and the night be wholly for rest, and feel no guilt, only the deep rightness of keeping the ancient rhythm. You have done your part for today. The night asks only that you rest, and in resting, prepare, in the truest way, for all that is to come. Let the body sink into that rightness, the shoulders easing, the breath slowing, the whole of you giving itself over to the proper rest of the night, trusting that this rest is the best gift you could give tomorrow and the wisest thing you could do tonight. And if the worry rises again in the night, insisting once more that you ought to be tending to tomorrow, you will gently remind yourself, the day's real work is done or will be done tomorrow in the light. The nets that could be mended are mended, and the night is for rest. And you will lay the worry down again and return to the rest that is the night's true work, as many times as it takes, until the worrying grows quiet and the rest grows deep. There is a deep and simple peace in this old rhythm, the peace of doing when it is time to do and resting when it is time to rest, and of never confusing the two. Let this be a night of that peace, the work of the day set down, the office of the mind closed, the whole of you given over to the night's true and healing work, which is nothing but rest. You have earned it, and tomorrow needs it, and it is the wisest and most responsible thing you could possibly do. So rest, without guilt, without the false labor of worry, in the deep and proper peace of a night given wholly to sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been worrying over tomorrow's tasks, turning them over in the dark, You might remember that real preparation is done in the daylight with the hands, and then it is finished. Whatever you could do, you have done or will do when the day comes. The nets that could be mended are mended. There is nothing more to do tonight. So lay down the worry, trust the work, and let the night be for rest. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have learned to do what the day asks, and then to lay the worry down and rest. And this simple boundary between the day for doing and the night for rest brings us to the deepest reassurance of all, the one that can finally quiet the anxious mind, that whatever tomorrow brings, you will meet it when it comes, as you have met every day of your life. So let us turn now to that quiet and steady truth, that you will meet tomorrow when it comes. For beneath all our worry about tomorrow lies a hidden fear, the fear that we will not be able to meet it, that the coming day will be too much for us, that we must somehow solve it in advance or be overwhelmed. And so the mind labors tonight to meet a day that has not come, to prepare for it, to brace against it, to make sure we can survive it, because some deep part of us does not trust that we will be able to meet it when it actually arrives. But look back over your life and you will find the answer to this fear, and it is a reassuring one. You have met every single day that has ever come to you, every one, every difficult day, every feared day, every day you were sure you could not face, came, and you met it, and here you are. You have a perfect and unbroken record of meeting your days. There is an old and simple truth in this, that the day brings its own strength with it, that we are given what we need to meet each day on the day itself, not before. We cannot feel tomorrow's strength tonight, because it is not yet needed, and so it is not yet given. But when tomorrow comes, and the difficulty with it, the strength to meet it comes too, arising in the moment, as it always has. This is why the future seems so unbearable when we imagine it, because we imagine facing it with only today's strength, today's resources, when in truth we will face it with tomorrow's strength, which will be there when tomorrow is there, given freshly for the day it belongs to. Let us explore a story about this. There was an old woman near the end of a long life who was asked by a young and anxious person how she had managed to bear all the hard things that a long life inevitably brings. The losses, the fears, the difficult days, the trials that come to everyone who lives long enough. The young person was full of dread about their own future, about all the hard things that might come, and could not imagine how they would ever bear them. And the old woman thought for a while, looking back over her many years, and then she said something the young person never forgot. "When I was young," she said, "I feared the hard things that might come, just as you do. I lay awake dreading them, sure I could never bear them. And then they came, some of them, in their time. And do you know what I found? That when each hard thing actually came, the strength to meet it came with it. I never had to face any of it in advance. I only had to face it when it arrived. And when it arrived, I found I could somehow meet it, one day at a time, with a strength that appeared just when it was needed, and not before. I feared 100 things I never had to face at all. And the things I did have to face, I faced when they came, with the strength that came with them. And here I am, at the end of it all, having met every single day that ever came to me. Not always gracefully, not always easily, but I met them, every one, and so will you. The strength will be there when the day is there. It always is. Let us stay with the old woman a moment. At the end of her long life, having met every day that ever came, for she had learned the deepest reassurance there is against the fear of tomorrow, that we are given the strength for each day on the day itself, that we never have to meet the future in advance, only when it arrives, and that when it arrives, the strength to meet it arrives too. She had feared 100 things she never faced, and met 100 more when they came, with a strength that appeared just when it was needed. And she stood, at the end, as living proof that the day brings its own strength, that we can trust ourselves to meet what comes, that we do not have to solve tomorrow tonight, because tomorrow will be met tomorrow with tomorrow's strength, as every day has always been met. And you are the same proof in your own life. You have met every day that has ever come to you. Every hard thing you feared and faced, you faced with the strength that came on the day. And the tomorrow you fear now will be met the same way. Not tonight in advance, with tonight's tired and frightened strength, but tomorrow when it comes, with tomorrow's strength, which will be there given freshly, just when it is needed. You do not have to summon that strength now. You cannot. It is not yet needed, and so not yet given. You have only to trust that it will be there when the day comes, as it always has been, and to rest tonight, and let tomorrow's strength wait for tomorrow, where it belongs. There is a phrase worth carrying into the dark, a gentle answer to every worried what if. Then I will meet it then. Whatever the mind proposes, whatever disaster it imagines, you might answer softly, then I will meet it then. What if the hard thing comes? Then I will meet it then, with the strength that comes with it. What if tomorrow is difficult? Then I will meet it then, when it arrives, one day at a time, as I have met every day of my life. Not now, not tonight, not in advance. Then. And there is such rest in those 3 small words. The rest of no longer having to carry tomorrow tonight. The rest of trusting yourself to meet what comes when it comes, with the strength that will be there on the day. So let us rest now in that deep trust. The trust of one who has met every day and will meet every day to come. You do not have to meet tomorrow tonight. You will meet it then, when it comes, with the strength that comes with it, as you have met every day of your life. Let the fear that you cannot bear it dissolve in the simple proof of all the days you have already borne. Whatever comes, you will meet it then, when it comes, and not before. And tonight, there is nothing to meet, nothing to bear, nothing at all to face, only this present breath, and this quiet rest, and this gentle gathering of the very strength that tomorrow itself will need. Rest and trust, and let tomorrow's strength wait for tomorrow, while tonight carries you gently down towards sleep. There is an image that gentles this even further, the image of a lamp on a dark road. When we travel a dark road at night, carrying a lamp, the lamp does not light the whole road ahead, all the way to our destination. It lights only the next few steps, a small circle of light around our feet, and this is enough. We do not need to see the whole road at once. We need only to see the next few steps and take them, and then the lamp moves with us and lights the next few, and we take those. And so, step by lighted step, the whole dark road is walked, though we never saw more than a few steps of it at a time. And life is walked exactly so. We are never given the whole road at once. We are given only the next few steps the next day, the next hour, lit just enough to take. And this is enough. We do not need to see all of tomorrow, all of the future, all the way to the end. We need only to see the next step and take it when it comes. And the lamp of each day's strength will light just enough of the road for the steps of that day. The future is dark beyond the lamplight, not because something is wrong, but because we are only ever meant to see the next few steps, and that is all we ever need to see. So you do not have to light the whole road tonight. You do not have to see all of tomorrow or next week or the years ahead. The lamp of the present lights only the next few steps, and that is enough, and that is all you are ever given, and all you ever need. Tomorrow, when it comes, will light its own next few steps, as every day does. And tonight, the lamp lights only this, the next breath, the next moment of rest. That is the whole of the road before you tonight, lit just enough to rest by. The rest of the road stays dark, as it is meant to, beyond the gentle lamplight, and you need not see it, and need not fear it, for you will see each step of it as you come to it, lit just enough when the time comes to take it. So let us rest now in the small, sufficient circle of the present lamplight, and let the rest of the road stay dark and unseen, as it is meant to. You do not have to see tomorrow. You do not have to light the whole road. You have only to rest here, in the small, warm circle of light that is this present moment, this breath, this quiet night, lit just enough for rest, and feel the peace of not needing to see the whole way, the peace of trusting that each step will be lit as you come to it, the peace of resting in the small, sufficient light of now while the rest of the road stays gently dark. There is nowhere you must see to tonight, and nowhere you must go. There is only this small circle of present light, this breath, this rest, and the dark and gentle road of tomorrow, waiting, unseen, to be lit step by step as you come to it, in its own good time. Let that small, sufficient lamplight hold you now, warm and close and enough, and let the vast dark road of the future stay unseen and untroubling beyond it, while you rest in the gentle circle of the present, breath by breath, step by lighted step, drifting softly down toward sleep. And there is a great tenderness in remembering that you do not have to do all of your living at once, that life is not given to us all in a single overwhelming lump, but doled out gently, one day at a time, one moment at a time, in portions small enough to bear. This is a mercy built into the very nature of time, that we meet our lives not all at once, which would crush us, but moment by moment, day by day, each portion small enough to be met with the strength of that moment. The warrior tries to violate this mercy, tries to live all of tomorrow tonight, all of the future now, gathering it all into one crushing lump and trying to bear it all at once. But you were never meant to bear it all at once. You were meant to bear only this moment, this day, this single portion, which is always small enough to bear. And tomorrow, when it comes, will also come one moment at a time, each portion small enough, met with the strength of its own moment, as all of life is met. So you may set down the crushing lump of the whole future now, and pick up only this single, bearable moment. You do not have to carry all of tomorrow, all of the years ahead, all at once, tonight. You have only to carry this one moment, this one breath, this one small portion of rest, which is light and bearable and enough. And when tomorrow comes, it too will come one bearable moment at a time, and you will carry it as you carry everything, not all at once, but moment by moment, each portion light enough for the strength of its moment. Let the crushing weight of the whole future fall away then, and feel how light it is to carry only this one present moment, this one breath, this one small piece of now, which is all you were ever meant to carry and all you ever need to. So let us rest now in the mercy of one moment at a time, carrying only this single bearable present and letting the whole crushing weight of tomorrow fall away. There is only this moment to be met tonight, and it asks only rest, only this breath, only this small, gentle portion of now. And it is enough, and it is light, and it is carrying you, one bearable moment at a time, gently down towards sleep. And if the fear of tomorrow rises again, you will simply answer it, softly, with those 3 quiet words. Then I will meet it then. Not now, not tonight, not in advance, but then, when it comes, with the strength that comes with it, and you will return again and again to the trust of all the days you have already met, until the fear grows quiet and the trust grows deep, and there is only this present moment and its single, bearable portion of rest. You have met every day of your life, and you will meet this one too when it comes. Let that quiet certainty hold you now, and rest. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have feared that you cannot bear what tomorrow may bring, you might remember that you have met every day that has ever come to you, and that the strength for each day comes with the day itself. Whatever comes, you will meet it then when it arrives, not now. Let the fear dissolve in the proof of all the days you have already met, and rest in that deep trust, and let it carry you towards sleep. When you are ready, we will come gently to the close. We have found the deep reassurance that we will meet tomorrow when it comes, with the strength that comes with it. And now, at last, the long night's teaching is done, and there is nothing left to do but set tomorrow down entirely and let it keep until morning, and give ourselves wholly to the rest of this present night. And so we come, in this final quiet hour, to the letting go of tomorrow and to sleep. For there is nothing left now but to let tomorrow keep. All through this long night we have been loosening its grip, one gentle teaching at a time. And now, at last, we come to the simplest act of all, to set tomorrow down entirely, like a bag we have carried too far, and to let it wait unopened until morning, while we give this whole present night to rest. Tomorrow will keep. It does not need to be carried through the night. It does not need to be solved or prepared or worried into shape in the dark. It will still be there in the morning, when there is daylight to meet it by, and strength for it, and time. And so, we may set it down now, fully, and turn wholly to the only thing this night asks of us, which is sleep. We have come a long way together this evening, and it is worth gathering it up gently before we let it all go. We began by seeing that the tomorrow we fear is not here, that it is a thought and not a place, and we watched the woman who suffered her feared day 100 times before living it once. We learn not to cross our bridges before we come to them, and sat with the traveller by his fire on the good road of now. We saw that the future is not yet real, a phantom built from tonight's fears, and heard the old merchant who suffered 1,000 ruins that never came. We laid down the second arrow of dread and saved our strength, like the wise man, for the day itself. We learned that the grass grows by itself, that so much unfolds without our anxious help, and we did not pull up the shoots like the impatient farmer. We held tomorrow with the old farmer's gentle maybe, released from the need to know. We followed the breath home to the present, the one sure ground again and again. We learned to do what the day asks and then to rest, like the fisherman who trusted his mended nets. And we found the deepest reassurance of all, that we will meet tomorrow when it comes, with the strength that comes with it, as we have met every day of our lives. You do not need to remember any of it. If one image has stayed with you, one story, one soft phrase, let that be enough, and let it do its quiet work in its own time. And if nothing has stayed, that is well too. The teachings will settle where they settle, like leaves drifting down onto still water. For this is the last and gentlest truth of all, that tomorrow was never yours to carry tonight, and that the moment you set it down, it releases you and you are free. It was always going to come in its own time and be met in its own time, whether you worried it through the night or slept peacefully until the morning. And so you may choose now the peaceful sleep and set tomorrow down and let it keep, and give this night at last wholly to rest. So there is nothing left to do now but to be here in the present, where you have always been safe, and to let the future stay in the future where it belongs. Whatever you carried into this night, whatever worry, whatever dread of the day to come, you may set it down now at the door of sleep and leave it there, and know that it will keep until morning. The bridge is not yet reached. You need not cross it tonight. The nets are mended. There is nothing more to do in the dark. The strength for tomorrow will come with tomorrow. You need not summon it now. There is only this present night, this present breath, this present moment, where nothing is wrong, where the future cannot reach, where there is only rest. Let us take these last few minutes simply to rest the body down, slowly and completely, letting the whole weight of you be received by what holds you. Feel the places where your body meets the bed, and let each of them give its weight fully over. The head, the shoulders, the back, the legs, so that you are carried entirely and hold yourself up nowhere at all. Let the face soften, the brow, the eyes, the jaw, where we hold so much of our worry about what is to come. Let the hands lie open and still. Let the breath move slowly, all on its own, low and easy. Each breath out carrying a little more of tomorrow away into the dark, until there is less and less to hold, and the holding itself dissolves into the quiet of the present night. And with each slow breath, let yourself sink a little deeper into now, and a little deeper towards sleep. There is no effort in this, and nothing to reach for. Sleep is not in tomorrow. It is here now, rising to meet you in the present, the moment you stop running ahead, so you need not chase it. You need only rest here in the present breath, and let sleep come up softly to gather you in. If the mind drifts toward tomorrow, no matter. Simply follow the breath home again, to now, to this breath, to this quiet present moment, as many times as it takes. The breath will always bring you home, and each homecoming is a little deeper, a little softer, a little closer to sleep. If any last worry about tomorrow drifts up in the mind, let it drift like a leaf on a stream and pass, and let the water grow still again behind it. There is nothing now that can trouble this stillness, for you are no longer running ahead into the future, no longer crossing bridges you have not reached, no longer firing the arrow of dread into a day that has not come. You are here now, in the present, where the future cannot reach, where you are held and safe and at rest, and tomorrow is waiting quietly in the morning where it belongs, and it will keep, and you need not go to it tonight. Tonight, you need only rest. Let us let the whole body grow still now, part by part, and settle into the present like water settling into perfect calm. Bring a soft attention to the top of the head and let it soften, and let the small muscles of the scalp and the brow, which have furrowed so long over what is to come, grow smooth and easy. Let the space between the eyebrows open and widen. Let the eyes grow heavy in their sockets, no longer straining toward the future, resting back into the dark. Let the cheeks soften. Let the jaw, which we clench against tomorrow, release, so the teeth part slightly and the tongue rests easy. Feel how much of tomorrow's weight was held right here, in the face, and how good it is to set it down. And let the softening move down, slow and warm. Let the throat soften, and the neck and the shoulders, which have carried the weight of 100 imagined tomorrows. Let them drop down and back into the deep support of the bed. Let the arms grow heavy, the elbows, the wrists and the hands, those hands that reach so often toward the future to control it. Let them lie soft and open and still, holding nothing, reaching for nothing. Let the chest, which braces around our dread, grow soft and open and easy, so the breath can move freely, low and slow and full. Let the belly release and rise and fall on its own. Let the back settle. Let the hips grow heavy. Let the long muscles of the legs, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and the very soles of the feet, let all of it soften and grow heavy and sink into the support beneath you, until the whole body is at rest, here, now, in the present, needing to hold itself up nowhere at all. And as the body settles, the breath settles with it, growing slower and quieter and deeper, each breath arriving on its own and leaving on its own, asking nothing of you. You do not have to breathe. You are being breathed gently, faithfully, as you have been breathed through every moment of your life, and as you will be breathed through all the moments still to come, whether you worry about them or not. So you may hand the breathing over now entirely to the wise body that knows how, and simply rest in the slow rocking of it, the soft rise and the soft fall, here in the present, where the breath is always breathing and the future never comes. And you might let a few soft wishes move through you now, the oldest kind of kindness, offered first to yourself, here, tonight. May I rest in the present. May I be free from the weight of tomorrow. May I trust that I will meet each day as it comes. And then, if you like, let those same wishes widen outward to all the countless others lying awake tonight, running ahead into their own feared tomorrows, all across the wide and sleeping world. May they rest in the present. May they be free from the weight of what has not yet come. May they trust that they too will meet each day as it arrives. And wider still, to every anxious heart that has ever lain awake dreading a tomorrow that had not come, all of them, everywhere, longing for the same peace you long for now. May all of us be free from the weight of tomorrow. May all of us rest tonight in the safety of the present. May all of us, every worried heart, come home to now and rest. There is a great comfort in this widening, in remembering that you are not alone in running ahead. that the worried mind is the old, shared human mind, and that the same present moment that holds you now holds all of them too, the one safe now, wide enough for every anxious heart to come home to and rest. And it is here for all of them, as it is here for you, the same safe present, the same quiet now, receiving every mind that has run too far ahead and bringing it gently home. Let those wishes fade now, softly, and let even them go. There is nothing left to wish, nothing left to do, nothing left to carry into tomorrow. Only the present and the quiet night and the slow, soft breath and the deep rest rising to meet you. And should the mind run ahead once more, even now, and reach towards some feared tomorrow, you need do nothing but notice it gently and follow the breath home again, to now, as many times as it takes. For there is no wrong way to rest now, and nothing you can do to spoil it, and the present receives you again and again, without fail, forever. And you do not have to stay awake to keep the watch over tomorrow. Tomorrow will keep itself, as it always has. If sleep is near, let it take you whenever it will, mid-breath, mid-thought. You'll lose nothing by drifting off, for the whole of the night's teaching is already done, and the rest is only rest. You have arrived, already, at the only place this long night was ever leading, which is here, this present breath, this safe and quiet now, where tomorrow cannot reach, and where there is only rest. And notice, as you lie here, how far away tomorrow has grown, how the anxious future you came in with has quietly loosened and receded, not because you solved it, but because you finally set it down. That is the whole of the gift you have given yourself tonight. Not a tomorrow made certain, which is impossible, but a tomorrow set down, which is always possible, the moment you are willing to let it wait. And something in you will remember this. On the nights to come, when the mind runs ahead once more into some feared tomorrow, something in you will remember that the future is not here, that you have not come to that bridge, that you will meet the day when it comes, and the letting go will come a little more easily each time, until one night, perhaps, the future hardly reaches you at all, and you lie down light and present and at peace. But that is for other nights. For this night, there is only this, the present breath, the quiet dark, the safe and gentle now, and the deep rest that has come at last to receive you. You have understood enough. You have trusted enough. You have set tomorrow down, and it will keep. You may release the whole of it now, the teaching and the trying and even the effort to rest, and simply let yourself be held by the present and carried softly down into sleep. May you be free tonight and always from the weight of tomorrow. May you remember when the mind runs ahead that the future is not here, that you have not come to that bridge, that you will meet the day when it comes with the strength that comes with it. May you learn a little more each night to follow the breath home to the present and to let the grass grow by itself and to hold the unknown tomorrow with a gentle maybe rather than a hard dread. And may you rest now, tonight, as deeply and as long as you need to rest. Tomorrow will keep. The bridge is not yet reached. The future is not yet here. There is nothing to carry into this night, and nothing to solve, and nowhere to run ahead to. You are exactly where you need to be, which is here, now, in this safe and present moment, held by the quiet dark. Let go now, softly and completely, and let the future stay in the future, and let this present night hold you, and carry you gently all the way to the morning. The bag is set down at the door. The bridge awaits, uncrossed, for a day you have not yet reached. And there is nothing left to carry now, and nothing left to fear, and nowhere left to run ahead to. Only the deep and present peace of now, holding you gently through the night. Rest now, and sleep deeply, and sleep well. And thank you from the heart for spending these quiet hours here, and for letting tomorrow, at last, wait for the morning.